is Thursday, February 26th. Just 2 more days left in February. We're in March 1st. I have Michael Cirillo with me, so you know things are getting unhinged. Today we're talking about dealership transparency trackers.
Everywhere I go.
Powered by AI and out in the wild today. And your dealership is on it. And you should see where you're ranking. Okay, I think we ended the show. Let's just give them that website. We're out of here. Everyone's like, wait, what?
I'm just so proud of how you landed that right on the beat drop. And I mean, I love a good timing lineup.
Good timing.
You know?
Sometimes I figure it out. Every once in a while I get it right. And sometimes I just don't. But every time I see you now, just a few days ago, you didn't even look as good as you look now. Your studio looks even better.
This old thing.
And you made the same joke.
That's because it's an old people thing, I think.
You're going to be the best old guy. You're halfway there already. Well, we're halfway there. Oh, see.
Right before the copyright.
Speaking of old guys, Bon Jovi. See, now this is turning into a stand-up comedy show. There's a chiropractor that I've gone to here in Syracuse, and every time I go in, he tells me about how he adjusted Bon Jovi when he was in Syracuse at like 30 years ago. The same story every time.
Wow.
Yeah. And then he just goes on about the line of women that wanted him to adjust them because those hands had touched Bon Jovi.
Bon Jovi somehow makes his way into at least one conversation of mine this week. And I wouldn't even say I'm like, or throughout the week. And I wouldn't even say I'm particularly that big. I don't even know if I would consider myself a fan. Do I think he's got some good tunes? Yes.
He's a good guy.
But he's a good dude. Like anyway, he's incredibly talented, but somehow he makes his way into my conversations. And now I'm going to think of him every time.
Well, you did it because, it was the song with the chiropractor. He's an Italian chiropractor too. So
he's got to be at least 3/4 of the way there by now.
He's living on a prayer. All right, back. Kyle's going to kill us when he realizes what we've done to this show while he's been gone. He's going to kill us. He's going to kill us. We have a show. We have a lot of great things to talk about. Awesome premiere yesterday with episode 3 of The Truth About Car Dealers at the Roman Auto Group. We got so many text messages and website messages about how beautiful people thought the show and the story was, thanking us for making it, and which feels really interesting because it just feels like that this is what we do. We make this industry a place people fight to join. We highlight the real stories going on inside of retail automotive and the people who are serving communities. But we, I think, take it for granted. So if you haven't seen it, go to thetruthaboutcardealers.com. You can see it there. You can see the other 2 episodes in season 2 as well. Let us know what you think, and let us know who we should visit next, because we have to visit more people. I want to thank our show's sponsor for today. Have you ever walked into a dealership to think, wow, is this everyone's first day on the job? I don't know that I've ever thought that, but turnover costs the industry $20 billion a year.
Okay, well, that's a problem. Here's the fix. Measure what matters. ESIQ gives you real insight into employee satisfaction, what's working, what's not, and what might cause someone to update their LinkedIn at 10:47 p.m.
Ooh, open to work. They help dealers attract, engage, and retain great people, because stable teams create stable customer experiences, and stable customer experiences sell cars. We're not going to have that thought anymore. We're not going to think it's everyone's first day. We're going to know they care about what they're doing. They like being in the dealership. That's what we're going for. You can learn more by checking out esiq.ai. That's esiq.ai. All right, I think it's time for some news. We've done a lot of damage today, I think. Let's talk about some news. Cue the Bon Jovi. CarEdge, the company, just launched a new public report card for dealers, and it's aiming straight at pricing transparency. This AI-powered platform unveiled its dealer transparency index, grading over 4,600 U.S. dealerships on how, quote, real and honest their pricing practices really are. The index, or we'll call it the DTI, scores dealers on a 100-point scale, translating into an A to F grade. We're back to school, everybody, based on real out-the-door quotes. Scores are built from 40,000 verified out-the-door quotes using CarEdge's AI negotiation platform. Dealers can't pay to improve their grade. They just actually have to do the things that improve transparency. The formula weighs doc fees at 30%, add-ons at 30%, dealer markups at 30%, and quote data quality at 10%. They list 4,957 dealers in the search. 2,400 are graded A, 306 of those are graded F, and half of them are in the middle. CEO Zach Shefska clarified his mission. He said, quote, "We're not anti-dealer. We're anti-deception. The problem is there's no way for consumers to tell the difference and no way for those honest dealers to prove it. The transparency index changes both." How about that? I mean, I was messing around on this platform a little bit when we came across this story this morning, and I just started searching dealers and territories that I know and seeing where they come up. And it is very sobering to look at a list of dealers, some of whom I know personally, some of who I just know of, right? We know a lot of dealer names, and you search an area and you see these lists, and there are some A's, there are some B pluses, there are some C's, there are a bunch of F's. And I'm like putting my consumer goggles on and saying, how is a consumer going to view this? And I'll tell you how. They're going to decide, I want to do business with the A's and the B's.
It's and hopefully the mindset is right on this. If you're currently an F rating, you should definitely not be thinking, how dare CarEdge? This is the worst thing to ever happen to us. This is an opportunity for growth being delivered on a silver platter.
That's right.
And the good news is everything you can do to change is available to you. And so that's something that I think is really important here. Often we tend to look at things like this from a broad swipe, of the paintbrush, saying, oh, here's another thing pointing out why dealers are so bad. And I don't see it that way. I see this as a real incentive to say, okay, somebody's holding up a mirror based on how we're currently operating, and that is a gift. We're going to make some changes.
We're Zach is friends of the More Than Cars universe. Have a little relationship going. We've known him for quite a while. And really the desire there in the beginning kind of came across as anti-dealer with their YouTube channel, because they're just very passionate about making sure the consumer has all the information they want. But as they've developed and matured and now have leaned into this AI technology, I believe I agree with you, Michael. Like this is a force for good, and it's a catalyst for the change that we need, because even at More Than Cars, we are trying to call out the dealers who are trying to rip people off, right? A few bad eggs, right? Or one bad egg. What's the thing?
One bad apple. I don't know.
No, is that Bon Jovi? Is that Bon Jovi? Yeah. Rotten apple spoils a whole bunch. Whatever.
Yeah, that's the Osmond
Do
family.
things the right way. This is another piece of accountability that will incentivize us to do that, change the culture so that it becomes the norm, to change the perception so that this is an industry everybody wants to be a part of, because they should, because it's the best industry in the world.
Yeah, agree.
Hard stop. Let's talk about GM. GM is retooling its mobile service plus strategy after dealers push back on the original $150,000 BrightDrop EV van. Now, gas-powered crossovers are stepping in to power the next phase of at-home service, and dealers say this version pencils much better. Starting Q2, GM's going to offer an upfitted 2026 Chevy Equinox, a GMC Terrain, a Cadillac XT5, all outfitted for mobile service. The move is following the cancellation of BrightDrop 600 production and dealer concerns over cost, size, and battery range. So the upfront costs are expected to be cut by at least half compared to the $150,000 EV van. Dealers can even self-install the service kit in 6 to 8 hours. The setup is allowing stores to remove the equipment and resell the vehicle later. So a lot more flexible than an EV van that you really can't do that with. So Mobile Service Plus director Chris Hornsberger said the new model hits the mark. Quote, "This, we feel, is the sweet spot, exactly what the dealers were looking for."
I love the sweet spot, because that's where when people are collectively feeling the sweet spot, you're onto something, and you have to pull on the thread.
Yep.
And I mean, it's encouraging to know that OEM is thinking in a much more granular way, right? I mean, there tends to always be a divide between the dealer body and what the OEM is doing, what decisions are being made at the high level. This gives us an indication into those boardrooms where they are actually considering, hey, what's going to be best for our dealer body? We are listening to them. Let's make some tweaks and improvements to roll something out that's going to be meaningful.
I like the idea that there are going to be smaller vehicles available as well, because a lot of the calls that happen in mobile service are software updates. Little things that can be done out of a passenger vehicle, and you don't need that big van. You don't need that super custom upfit, maybe a little upfitting, but I think this is going to be a win for everybody. We should talk to our friend Ed Roberts. Ed, what do you think about this? Oh, he's not here. I thought he was just Nathan was gonna
For
pull
a minute,
something.
you had me. I was like,
I mean, I could probably text him and get a response in like 15 seconds.
Let's get Ed. Let's get Amit. I mean, that would be a real flex if we could try to do that. We're not going to do that because we spent so much time talking about Bon Jovi in the beginning of the school. But Michael, tell us about consumer confidence.
All right, check this out. Consumer confidence edged higher in February, snapping a January slide as Americans felt slightly better about jobs and the labor market. While optimism is still well below last year's peak, expectations for the months ahead are starting to firm up. The Conference Board's Consumer Confidence Index rose 2.2 points to 91.2, beating economist expectations of 87.
Solid.
Is there an acronym for CBCCI?
I wanted you to say it 5 times fast, but carry on.
The labor market differential improved, with more consumers saying jobs are plentiful versus hard to get. Expectations for business conditions, jobs, and income 6 months out all ticked higher. Younger consumers under 35, oh my gosh, that's what we're defining as a younger consumer now.
You're old now. You're old. It's over.
Younger consumers grew more optimistic while confidence declined among older age groups. What are you saying?
Yeah, here comes the voice. Here's why I think that's happening, because a lot of the new job opportunities are just leaning towards a technical proficiency and understanding. So the older you get, the less you want to learn. I can't wait to get to the point where I don't have to learn another dang thing about technology. I can't wait to the day where, like, I don't care. I actually don't care. I have my 3 Optimus robots that are taking care of me. I have my little exoskeleton. I have a car that drives me where I want to go. I don't need to know anything else. I just tell it what it wants. But that's definitely why that's the case. It's good to see this ticking back up, because I think when people see a job market that is tight or scary, and even if that's just the perception, they're going to spend less money. They're going to be more conservative. If we have people, consumer confidence growing in jobs and spending, it helps the whole economy move just a little bit smoother. And not to mention, like, it's just better mentality going around. And one of the things we've been talking a lot about here with our teams, is that we get to decide our outlook, and we are going to win. And when we say that and believe it, the funny thing is it actually happens, because we're oriented in that way. So I like a good consumer confidence edging up report at the end of a show.
Let's win. We got to win.
We're halfway there. I really wish this music that I was hitting was a Bon Jovi song now, but then they couldn't play it on YouTube. It's complicated. Maybe we'll get him on the show someday. But Michael Cirillo, thanks for stepping in. Hopefully we didn't get in too much trouble and Kyle isn't mad at us, but have a great day out there, everyone. Take care of one another.